The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everybody, welcome to the weekly user group webinar. Today is the 25th of November 2019, coming to a close now, isn't it, nearly? Today we've got myself, John and Lisa is here as well, so it's good to have you here.
Good to be here.
As always, if you've got any queries or questions, ideas, solutions, feel free to raise your hand. We'll get the microphones opened and we'll cover the content accordingly. We're going to try and rush it a little bit today. Sorry about that, folks. It's just we've got a pressing issue, and I'm hoping to try and get the update out. It's actually in everyone's interest, this particular update, and it's really to do with the command bars and the closed pop-ups. I don't know if anyone's ever been caught out by it. John, I'm sure you must have been caught out by it at some point. And it's where you've got some kind of pop-up control, but then you switch to another window, and of course the pop-up hangs around and goes over the other window, like Windows Explorer or something like that. No?
Say it again. I'm sorry. I got pulled away.
Okay. So sorry, pop-up. So on the command bars,
yes.
if you have a pop-up and then you switch to another window, of course it remains over the top, and it's been a bugbear for quite a long time, and now we're getting a few complaints, and in typical development fashion, I have spent more than hours, I say days on this, and 5 minutes before the webinar I made a breakthrough. So I do need to try and get back to it, but hopefully if I go and switch to a different window, oops, and there you can see it goes. So it's looking promising. So we shall see. Okay, so questions. I know John's got one, I know Lisa's got one, and I think Alan's got one. Ladies first, Lisa.
Are you sure? Could be a minute. So this is me working on my report control.
Do we need to see your screen?
If you want.
It's up to you.
You can. Well, I want to know about one of the things that you showed last week was adding the address fields at the bottom.
Oh yeah, let's bring up. Let's just bring up that report control from last week. There. Okay. So basically, yeah, other information which might not be part of the view, but you do want them to be available.
Displayed somewhere else on the screen, right?
Yeah.
So when mine first comes up, when the screen finally comes up, I should say, it doesn't actually display that field until I select a field in the browse. Like it's not displaying the very first one.
Okay. Well, that's just compiling. Let me get the class open here and let's make sure that it is doing what we hope. Won't be a second then. NYS. I've just got the stuff open on the other screen.
That's fine.
Okay, so I think we actually put it on here. We called it customers. So let's give this one. So we happen to be, it's, I don't know the actual address, but I know it's definitely Le Mans, France, and it'll be a 7200 department in France. Just like you have states and we have counties, they have departments. So, yeah, okay. So if we go into that, that's a bug.
Just like that.
That's a bug. Okay.
Okie dokie. Well,
let me have a quick look here then.
Do something wrong.
No. I
was afraid I was putting it in the wrong place.
No, I've got the report control customers. You should have the related record, which means as you're navigating around the report control, it will go and bring that record. It will go and fetch that record for you. That's the principle behind it. But it does look like it's not doing that to start with. Okay. I wonder how easy a fix it is, whether we could do it now. I'll take one look. I shall maybe give you a workaround now. That'll be quite easy. So 1 second. 25th. Okay. So basically what we want is a new selection. No, sorry, it's a row selected. So I take it that's not being called. I would have thought that would have been called, you see, automatically for you. Row selected. Data restore selection. All right, won't be a second.
Okay.
So what this will do is it'll just put a message up of what row is selected. We go into yours first. No row is selected. Okay. Of course, when we navigate to it, if we was to do a refresh now, so and we need a way of refresh. Oh, there. Then it would have which row. Okay, so what we've got looks like it's not moving. Ah, yeah. I'm just bringing the help into. This is going to get a bit technical here, but basically within the report control itself, we have a navigator, which it basically emulates you moving around, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So we can call it, and we do call the navigator move to row, which is one of the methods. Move to first row would actually be a good one. Okay, let's try that. I forgot the rows are zero based. I've told it to move to row 1. I think I've just seen what it might be. Bring it into focus. There's me typing away. It's a bit bit rude of me. Okay, this is the code where it's restoring the selection, because you might have deleted a particular row in a sort order and you want to go and restore, and it's going to restore nearest to it, that kind of thing. So it's going to move, and it's got to save a save selection. It's a local property. So of course that's going to navigate, but it's not going to fetch the record because that won't be set. So basically what we need to be able to do, get row ID for an index, yeah. Maybe something like that. I'll check this before it goes out, but something like that. No, oops. Okay, leave that with me. I will get a fix out to you. It won't be this afternoon,
That's
but
fine. No, that's fine. As long as it's not me. I mean, not something. No.
No.
Okay.
What you could do after the as a stopgap, so to speak, just comment that code is something along the lines of, but you only really want it on your initial load. Thinking about it. No, still don't like it.
That's okay. I can wait till you have time to look at it.
It will be this week, because one of the things I've got to look at is implementing the drag and drop as well. So it will be it'll be this week. Feel free to remind me. You know what I'm like.
Okay.
So, but no, it's not you. It's not you. If you knew it was a very initial load, then you could basically there are methods to move around. So you could basically. Oh no, you see, it's not going to work. What I was thinking is you could tell it just scroll to the top, but what'll actually happen there is if it thinks it's already on there, and then you scroll to the top, it's not going to go and refetch the record because it thinks it's already in view. So it's trying to optimize the code a little and saying, well, I don't really need to do that task. You know, you could scroll down and scroll back up, but that'd be very crude. But hang fire on the fix, and I'll get it to you.
Okay, no problem. My second question is there a way that I can use a stored view, like I'm connecting to a SQL backend and I want to just connect to a view that is created over there, as opposed to having the report control itself?
Yeah, what I'd probably do there then is the view. How would you bring the results back? Do you bring them into a queue?
Maybe.
Because I'm just thinking there, very crudely, but you could use the list enhancer. So you could say, okay, bring the results back. I do something similar in a couple of my apps, mainly to do with like filtered appointments and things like that. So I'll bring the results back into a queue, and then I'll just have a actually what I'd normally do there is just put them straight in the report control. But if you didn't want to do that, you could just put a clarion list on the screen, and then which is based upon that queue. So of course, when the answers come in, it goes straight to that queue, and then enhance that list, and that would basically you would be viewing that queue.
Okay. So where would I?
So say for example,
where would I make the call?
Have we got list enhancers? Just wonder if we've got any for the local queue. Okay, so for example, oh wait, is this a kind of thing? Oh, you're issuing the. How are you getting the results from this this view, this stored view?
Well, I'm not yet because I haven't done it, but I don't know. Probably I'd use Ultimate SQL, which would in fact bring it back in a queue.
I was going to say it'd bring it back into a queue. So you could parse the queue and put it straight in. That would work. But for ease, just to get yourself used to it, so to speak, let's just. Oh, crikey.
Whoa.
That didn't work. Yeah, let's not do that. Right, what we'll just have. Move these across a little. And we'll just create a very simple queue. And then what I will actually do is I'll put this example into the main example app. Tidied up, of course. But so something along the lines of. Actually, no, that'll do. Local queue enhancer. Okay, so local queue. Like I said, I will tidy it up before it goes out the door, but at least you'll be able to get. I can send you this straight after the webinar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Something like so, and simple close button. That'll remind me afterwards. So I'm just going to create a queue, and nothing particularly dynamic. Customers, if you will. And in there we'll have a customer ID. Oh, yeah, just not long actually, that'll do. And a name. Maybe a telephone number. That'll do. So we get the idea. So you would have whatever the shape of your queue in.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just put a list on the screen. Like so. So we're going to have that. Okay, something like that. Bit neater. There you go. And we'll just put some dummy data in. So actually, no, we'll put it in a button. So it'd be like emulating your query, if you will.
Okay.
What am I doing?
Damn, you type as fast as Mike does. Or not just type, your brain works as fast as Mike's does.
Oh no, I'm not quite sure about that. And then we'll have that as a random number between, I don't know, 1 and plenty of numbers. So we've got a telephone number. Not really, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I should really actually, I suppose, and I am going to call that. So that's our list, and of course we've pointed to our local queue. So that is how you would bring back your results at the moment. Fine, no problem. Now what we can do is you would want that to look like the rest of your lists if you're using the report control, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go to the extension, going to add the report control, list enhancer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can say basically, oh, go a second. Hang on a second. This isn't what, oh. Some of them tabs shouldn't be there. That's another bug. I'm going to watch this back. All right, so I'm going to choose a list. I'm not bothered about edits in place and so on and so forth. But just by doing that, what it should do, our load probably won't tell it to go and reload because we are taking charge of it manually, you see. It's taken on our columns, that's very good. We just need to tell that to repopulate. So it would be along the lines of, instead of the display, which we previously had, always change the class name. I can tell I'm rushing today, sorry folks. So under there, instead of the display, because it's not the Clarion anymore, it would be our report control dot. Now what we should be able, I wonder if the refresh contents would work. If not, if that doesn't, then it would be basically the data load.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, now thinking about it, would it be an enhancer? It would probably be report control dot sync. List sync rows. We don't have a progress bar. If you did put a progress bar on the screen, it would unhide it, do the progress bar, and then rehide it. So we've not got that, but we would want that. Any of the list enhancers like the Clarion browse, the manual list, all the local procedures of that start list underscore.
Okay.
So yeah, and then we should obviously be able to go off and navigate accordingly. You could, if you wanted to, tie that to your related record. So it's a pretty good topic actually. So we said customers, purely random data here, but what we could do then is say, okay, well technically, although it's coming from maybe a stored procedure or whatever, we could say that the report control, even though it's coming out of a list, it is related to the a particular record in our customer table.
Okay.
So we can say it's related to that particular one. Its key is customer, and the field is going to be our row ID. Would that be the row ID? Use that for now. I've got a question mark on that. We'll just put a couple of fields on the screen. Not sure that would be the row ID though. And then of course it's going to get somewhere it can't find those records. So now you're seeing why we've got the related record, because that related record can come from any kind of data source. It could be a stored procedure, it could be a convoluted select statement on the data bind, and so on. Doesn't really matter. We're saying out of this, we need to tie it back to a record for when the user goes and does an insert, change, delete, things like that. So now we could actually have our insert, change, delete buttons on here and still be able to go and call the update form accordingly.
Okay.
Even though it's all off a local list. So, for example, that's a bug, because you see, you're throwing scenarios here. I'm gonna put a report control, a hidden one, just to show you what you could have to do, but I'm gonna have to change that. The requirement of these buttons. I'll get these sorted this week. So we want.
I see. You had to do that to trick it.
Exactly. Yeah. So that
Okay.
I'm really not bothered about. Not even gonna. As long as I can attach these to a list enhancer. There, that list.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that was just the template requirement saying you must be there, and of course it's not. So, and not on there, but on the list enhancer, we would want to go and tell it to call our update form accordingly. We've got to update customers, that'll do. Okay, so soft velocity. No, it's not, because it's not. That's probably why it wasn't on. That's a shame. That's a shame. Just trying to think what other ways we could do just with a queue. I could get that fixed for you. That's not a problem. That's going to be it's just how it's calculating the class, and it's just not seeing the particular actions. So that's not too bad. Believe it or not, that's probably quite an easy fix. So that's one way you could do it. Put a Clarion list, populate it accordingly, and then use the enhancer. And anytime you go and change your data, it would go off and refresh accordingly. And after that, you could do the select control, which would bring this back into focus by default. So you could do that, or you could bring your results back into a queue, which you go into anyway via whatever query mechanism, Ultimate SQL, so on and so forth. You could, if you wanted, manually load the report control, but using the group structure. So let's just do one more. The second one would be faster for you if you want the truth.
Okay.
So I'm going to queue, load. Oh no, I thought I was going to do that. Sorry, I was thinking ahead. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to still have our queue. No list on the screen, so we don't want that. We do want we've just added a report control.
Right.
Not done anything with it, just a report control. And these buttons can now be associated with that control.
Okay.
So what I will, I won't do it now only because I think the GoToMeeting, if you do the right click and the actions, we get quite a lot of flicker. So I'm just going to say, okay, this is a local queue, customers, that kind of thing. It's just a description. Manually loaded, that's fine. Going to create the columns. So I will have a customer ID. So I'm going to take on the shape of basically what we want to load, that kind of thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Customer ID. Name. And a telephone number. Now, if we look here at any groups, there's no groups defined. Now, the report control, its fastest way of loading data is via the group structure. So what you can do is on the report control, you can tell it, and I think it's under, yeah, options, rows, automatically, easy for me to say, automatically declare local group structure. Okay, ensure your IDs do not contain a dot, only because it won't like it, and spaces obviously, because it's going to create a group structure. So we tick that, look in our source code. Okay, there. It's created that group for you. Prefix of that. Might take a copy of that actually. So, and it knows it has to have an individual record ID, customer ID, a name, and a telephone number, which are the columns that we've just created.
Mm-hmm.
So now what you could do is under that load. So you've done your query, your Ultimate SQL. So you will have, you won't do that obviously, but you would have your data in the queue.
Right.
So we will do report control, delete all rows, and we don't want to refresh, not yet. We'll loop through the return data that you've got. And then what I would do in here is I would clear the queue, clear that. Oh, colon, customer ID equals, if you add your particular customer ID, which would be, that's fine, we have. So I'm going to use, sorry, jump one back. Row ID is our first one, the rec ID. That's going to be our customer. So technically, is our customer ID what goes on show? Name can equal and also the telephone number. So it's a bit long-winded. Sorry, I was thinking. After that, we would want to do report control, add row. So we're going to add the row. It wants to know what record we're using, which is that.
Right.
Which is fine. Then, does it want to refresh? And we know we don't, because we don't want to paint a row at a time. We want it as fast as possible. So we're not going to refresh on the delete. We're not going to refresh. When we say refresh, we mean visually refresh. The content's
Right.
still refreshing. It's just a visual to the end user. We're not going to visually refresh on the add row. And then the last one is a group structure, which can be the group we've just it's created for you. After that, it wouldn't be that. It would be a straightforward populate. So let's just delete, load, well, add, and populate. So if you've got your answers coming back in a queue, that's going to be really your fastest way. There is one enhancement coming. It's not going to be this week though. Definitely not. And the enhancement it's a little overdue actually. What that is you could pass it your own queue, okay? But I'll ask you for certain fields. So I'll need to know what in your queue what the object ID is and what the row ID is. And the object is, it will be a field that I can take charge of. So you won't maintain it, I will. But this is going to really speed up the report control. And again, because what's going to happen here, that's going to delete it out of the report control itself. That's going to add it. That's going to repaint it. But for those two methods, the report control itself has to keep its own queue of pointers. So you've got your queue of data, but it has to basically keep a clone of that. Not for all of the content, just your row ID and a raw object of what it is in the report control. It's the link between your data and the report control's data. So if I can get them all in one queue and just maintain your queue for you, then all of a sudden it makes it so much faster.
Okay.
So, but this, let's just see that one in action. For now, I would go down this path. What have I missed? Oh, we still got the list enhancer on there.
No, up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep, because then no. My own golden rule that I always do the class names first. Okay. So yeah, so on the so I think you'll find that would be faster. Those ones should still be actually going to remove and put those back on again. Those buttons should be in sync. Because I use this myself, so they should definitely be in sync. Report control is pretty. But check that as well, because there's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't. Okay. But I would go down that to start with. Definitely go down that
Okay.
route.
Okay.
U1's fine. The list enhancer, if you've already got lists and so on and so forth. I suppose if we did some timings on larger data sets, you'd start to see a bit of a difference between the two. So, because you're going to have your Clarion list, then it's going to read all of that, and it's going to repopulate it into the report control, keeping links between the two. This, you're not going to have the Clarion list, so you save that. You're going to have some kind of queue, granted. Put it straight into here, and there's not having to keep anything in sync with the Clarion list anymore. So that's going to ultimately be faster. And then the nth degree, the next step would be for me to, within your queue, ask you to define an extra, just a couple of fields. One is a row record ID or a row ID, and one is a raw object, which I can just take charge of and maintain.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah, that's the plan of attack for it. So, and then that way we're only going to ever maintain your queue of data.
Okay.
Okay, I'll send you this example after the webinar.
Perfect. And I think that my other question was about, could I display like a thinking message or something, because it takes a good little bit for the list to come up. But I think maybe that delayed load thing that you're talking about.
Delayed load? Sorry, which?
Yeah, you talked about that last week on the report control, where
yes.
it would like display the
on the docking
the report
page
control, right? So that the user could see something.
Yeah.
Was coming up.
Yeah.
I think that will probably take care of that.
Yeah,
because I know
that'll be in the. It's to do with the report control as well, but also the docking pane is where I'm going to make use of it and so on. So that will be in this week because I've got to get another update to schedule it to the beta testers. So
okay, perfect.
So
thank you.
All helps.
Appreciate it.
No
that
problem.
helped explain a lot.
So John, are you there? Because I know you had a question.
I am, and I do. The CodeJock browser, web browser control.
Oh well, okay, yeah.
I know, with the obscure one.
Say, right? Yeah. Blow the cobwebs off.
Yeah. I'm looking for a control F on it, or a way to find things within a web page, and I didn't see anything, and maybe there just isn't anything, but just thought I would check.
I don't think it's that advanced. Let's take a quick look. I really don't think it's that advanced.
I couldn't find one in the NBit one either, because I could use either one. It seems like such an obvious thing to have, and yet neither of them seem to have it.
Is this part of what you were showing towards the end on Friday, John?
Oh, what's Go Search? Oh, okay. I don't know what Go Search is. I had to leave.
The update program, yeah. The updater, software updater.
Okay.
Yeah, but there was no control F for it, so. This has something to do with search pages. I don't even know what that is. Default search page, yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, that's it. Oh, yeah. Go forward, go back. Ah, yeah.
You go to Google or something, I guess.
What about execute WB?
I don't know. That's why I asked
going
you.
To be. Now, do we know what the command is? That's a bit of a cop-out. That's one of my helps, that. Represents the identification, the command to execute. Okay, let me just take one quick look around. So, CodeJock, web browser, exec WB. Just see if anyone's got any list of commands.
Oh, there's a print.
Well, shall we just, let's face it, I'm not going to be a rush one today, is it? So let's just bite the bullet and have a look together. Right, okay. So let me bring in. Oh, we've already got suite controls in there. Must have already used one in the past. Believe it or not, there's actually going to be an update to the suite controls, probably the latter end of this week, and it's really to do with the date time enhancer. Because I'm using it in one of my applications, and I'm using, you know, where Clarion can change the color background of the active field. And of course, with the date time enhancer, it doesn't take that into effect, and it should really do. Okay. Doesn't really matter on any of these. We use that one. In fact, no, we won't. We use that one. But then I'll put something down the bottom. So, navigation controls. I don't know what the exec WB does, by the way, so we're going to find out now. What was its help? Command ID. Exec option.
Looks like it's 32. OLECMDID_find equals 32. So exec WB, and then the first parameter would be 32, and then
Well, I'm looking at other
something. It's
yeah.
something. I don't know what else.
And that's
It looks like this is like a Microsoft. Are they using? What are they using in there? Are you using Internet Explorer or something?
No, it'll be using that engine, yeah. So basically, what you'll be doing is hooking into that engine. I know the likes of like DSO Framer, when you're doing Office, they all give you, and the NBit for that matter, they give you an access into the actual raw control underneath. But you need to then start talking to the control in its parameters and in its manners, so to speak.
Right. I guess this will work for a while.
Yeah, and I've been speaking to Richard at basically NBit, or what they're called now.
Oh yeah, they have all different names.
Supeltech, yeah. But as we're speaking, and they've got a cracking new control out, so I'm already he's putting a COM interface onto it for me, so we can use that. Even though it's .NET, we'll use that via COM.
Is it going to use Chromium instead of?
I don't know. He's not basing on anything, so I wouldn't be surprised if he is doing it on Chromium. But I'd have to have a chat with him.
Okay, cool. Well, I can always update to that, I guess.
Yeah, we'll make the update as seamless as possible. So suite controls. No, the web browser. Not renamed it. That's terrible. I've not wrapped it. I've kept it away from you. Okay, that's no problem. OCX direct command. Exec WB. What the command is. Did I not put the local? Okay. So you're thinking it's 32?
I was thinking, but I'm looking at the rest of this message and it says, but I was not able to get it to work. And I saw somewhere that is not currently implemented. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on this one.
No, sir.
No, maybe I'm not. Look at that.
So find portal. Portal. There you go. With no problem. So it's 32 with a 0. I don't know what the 0 would be. So if we do
That's
1.
exciting.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's my notes, because that is going to go in for everybody. So I'll have a look at what the exact WB, the command IDs are, and we will put those in as methods.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
basically it'll be web browser dot find. Find out what the rest of them are. I wonder what one is. Oh, that's a navigate. Yeah, that's a navigate. Not sure what 3 is. I'll go back to the. Oh, that's the normal home. Okay. 3 is save.
Well, that was 32.
Ah,
So try them in groups of 4. try 8 and then 12 and 16.
it's not something along the lines of the old file command, is it? No. You know, and one of them, I've seen it in the past where they actually do them as the menu options, which is crazy. But yeah, I've seen that. Okay, so a bit of. Well, the 3 did something. Yeah, the 3 is saved.
Did 3 do something? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was 4.
Was it 4?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, just look at the numbers. Like, it's
So
going to be
2
multiples.
must be something then. No.
No. It's try.
8 is page setup.
Yeah. Try them and then try 12.
Oh wow, you think it's
16.
literally just 4s?
No, I think it's 16 now. You're right. It's doubles. It doubles each time. So before
Yeah, but
8,
2 didn't do
16,
anything.
32, 64. Yeah.
Yeah. No, there will be some documentation
That one. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great though. That's exactly what I needed.
Ah. Was that 5 then or 6?
Was it 6 or something?
6 is
Oh well,
print.
there goes my pattern. I guess that's gone.
Yeah, 6 is print. Which is great.
Well, this is nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well you can expect all those to be wrapped up for you. Oh, nice. 7 the print preview. Oh, I could use some of this myself.
Huh.
Especially for an email. Viewing an email. So I save the HTML into a blob or whatever, bring it into here, load it via one of the methods, and then do the print preview. And there you've got your email.
So I can see this is how the magic works.
How the magic works.
So
I like it.
okay, yeah, well, that was definitely a worthwhile. John brings good questions this week.
Also, just so you know, with docking panes,
Yes.
the CapeSoft resizer does not play well with it.
Nope, neither does Mike Hanson's.
Mike Hanson's does. Well, at least when I tried it.
But does it not turn on the frame again, the window frame?
No, I just used it. I'll show you if we have time. I'll show you my
Okay, because I thought
update program.
it did turn on the frame, because I have a need for it in mind. The CapeSoft one does turn the window bar back on again.
Yeah.
Which I obviously didn't want, because then they can move a window around within a pane, which is a big no-no.
Right.
Yeah, but I thought Mike's did as well, to be honest with you. If it doesn't, great.
I just popped it on. I'll show you in a second. unless there's some other questions. And the last thing, I'm going to still bug you about the multi-DLL thing. I need that so badly.
Yes, agreed.
So
It's
badly.
the only way it's going to be done, because we are just flat out at the moment on projects. The only way it's really going to be done is during maybe the downtime, the break, where it's a case of, okay, right, projects wise, people aren't requiring updates, so on and so forth, and then I can just actually just take some time out. You know, the closed pop-ups today, that's really become pressing for a few people on some projects. So that's a jump to the top of the queue, because it really is a pressing issue, and holding some people's updates out and so on. But likewise, I do, yours is probably of the same ilk with the multi-DLL. So
I know
you're in good company, because I have to keep updating all mine. All my solutions are all multi-DLL, so you're in good company.
It's crazy. I know the guy at customs in South Africa in Cape Town, and I will have him ask you if you've done it. If you say no, he will not let you in the country. He will just send you back. Say nope, go away.
That's pretty good.
That's a really sore subject, actually, because we just got told about hour and a half before the webinar that we had the itinerary booked and so on and so forth, and we got the details today. We're only fine-tuning some of the details on the car hire, and British Airways have released our flights last night. So we want the same flights today. They've just put an extra £75 per person on. Things which there was already reserved for us. We just while we were doing the paperwork on the car hire and the excess and so on, and we were told that it was held. Then no, British Airways have just released them and now told us to be basically, well, not us, told the booking agent to rehold them at £75 more. So that's a really touchy subject at this moment in time.
Oh, that's BS, man.
Yeah.
What's the whole purpose of putting something on hold?
Yeah, that's the thing. That basically they deemed it as it's now become high demand. Just one particular day as well. They've now become high demand, so they've cancelled people's hold, and they have to rehold them.
That's ridiculous.
So it looks like wait a minute, it's not the end of the world, but Clarice and her friend are actually joining us as well.
Cool.
So which would be a trip to South Africa. She's like, oh yes, definitely. So they're joining us, and we've got some accommodation booked. Of course, we've got the accommodation booked for particular days, and now if we want it to be reasonable, then we have to change the day. So personally, I'm okay, but I've also got to take those into account. So yeah, we're in discussions, but it'll be sorted today. Tonight it'll be sorted.
Cool.
Anyway, yes. Did you say you had another question? Oh, multi-DLO. Yes. Agreed. They do need doing. So we will. We should really make headway. Maybe next Monday's webinar, no questions from anybody, and we only cover this.
Okay, well, I won't be here next Monday, so you won't have me to deal with. And my quick 45-minute questions.
That's fine.
Hey, I do have a question for you on what you were doing though. What was that first thing that you were pulling up where you were looking at the code jock? Not the help window, but that other one.
IEEE. I'll put this on the Skype chat for the Clarion, the Noyantis Skype chat, because you can't download. Well, you can download it off the internet now, but every version I found probably in the last, not a word of a lie, probably 5-6 years, have just been riddled with viruses. So I wouldn't go near them. Whereas I got this, it must be 12 years ago. And I swear by it, it's brilliant. It's still my go-to tool because it lets you open up any kind of OCX. So I could open up, I think somewhere, have I got a DSO frame or something like that? No, maybe under C. Oh, the ADO. There you are, the Microsoft ADO object. Doesn't really matter. You can open Word up, open them up, and have a look at the properties, the events, and there will be some methods there. So basically, this is how I would go about starting to do a wrapper.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yes, please.
Yeah, I'll put this in because it was fine years ago when I got it, and then the only ones which are left lying around on the internet now, like I say, are full of viruses. So just no point. I'll just put the zip on the Skype chat.
Thank you.
No problem. And of course, from there you can, if it's got an associated help file, that one hasn't. But if we open, say, the CodeJock, then pressing Launch Help will actually open the associated help for it.
That's cool.
So yeah. Okay. And I think
you think it's over, but I'm going to show you my screen here.
Oh yes. Oh, I was going to say I think Alan wanted to chat about docking panes as well, but let's have a quick look at yours, especially with the resize, because
he left though.
Alan, has he?
Oh, Alan. Oh, okay. Sorry, Alejandro had a question about docking panes.
Oh, it was just about the update.
He left.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh wow.
See, you left early. You didn't see this on the Friday webinar.
I had to. It had been a really rubbish week, and we already had plans, and I just needed to get out with you on the truth.
There you go. Well, so it's looking pretty nice.
Looks really nice.
This property grid here has Mike Hansen's resizer on it.
Okay.
And it seems to be working okay.
Cool.
I think.
So that's just is that a docked window or?
These are all docking panes here. So yeah, it's just a docked window. Yep.
All right.
Yes, that's what it is. This is a whole window. Down to here and down to here. And then you can update things. It's got a cool thing here. This, for putting your passwords in or your serial numbers, normally you'd have to go find it and then highlight it and then Control C and then come over here and click here and then Control V. I just have it watch the clipboard. And so if I turn this on here and I highlight and press Control C, it fills this in automatically.
Nice.
So it saves me moving my mouse and finding it and clicking and all that kind of stuff. And same for here. If I click here, it'll put my product serial number in. If I just copy it, put it in the clipboard, then it pastes it and then it clears the clipboard. So you have to be a little careful though, because if you forget to turn it off, your clipboard stuff's going to be coming in here and filling stuff in, right? So I think I'm going to put a timer on it. So if you don't use it after 2 minutes or 3 minutes, then it will go back to nothing. Yeah, I was just thinking about that today. Anyway, so ignore this button here, but the way I've got it set up now is I click here, it gets all the CapeSoft stuff, loads it all in here. I think I was going to have it display the versions under here, but I think I might still do it. I'm thinking about that. But yeah, and then you have all this nice information over here. And then if I go here, it goes right to their website. And this is why I wanted the Control F, so I could find stuff in their docs.
Yep.
You know, if I go to the documentation, I want to be able to find it. Now I can, so that's really cool. But, and then of course, your properties here. This is my test button, but when I click this, it will install. It'll download the file and then run the installer and pass the installation password over to it. So it's all automatic, you know, as far as getting installs and stuff. Puts it in a nice folder. That was pretty cool when I got all that to work. But see, you know what I want? What I want? Let's scroll down here. What's this? What's this?
Yeah.
This last thing. It says
So,
Noyantis on. We need to figure out how to get your stuff in here so that I can do the same thing. So I can click and have it download my new updates, and then I click on it and it installs it.
So I can give you the feed. That's no problem. I can do the feed so it fills in what products. Just return you a JSON string, I take it, an array with products and the versions and the dates. And a description, obviously. I take it the description's coming from CapeSoft for...
Yeah.
So that's no problem. In fact, if you want to give me a sample JSON structure, I'll just return that to you. That's no problem. Rather than rework the code, just pass us, because that's all in PHP on the website, so I can just give you, it'll be noyantis.com/API, it's capitals, / and then we'll just have it as, I don't know, product versions.php, something like that. I'll add it to that and just return. But then the problem comes as Capesoft had to see that will return the versions. That's no problem. For you to be able to download it, you're going to need to pass into the API your account ID and so on and so forth, because the actual when you log into Noyantis and you download, it actually keeps track of who's downloading what. Because unfortunately, believe it or not, we have actually been basically hijacked in the past, and various people download, pass them around, so on and so forth, and that's why our installers do actually check for active subscriptions to our website, because we have been ripped off in the past. Shame, really. You wouldn't really think it from the Clarion community, and I don't think it's too widespread, which I'm glad to report. But unfortunately, we have been doing so. So we'd have to make sure we still got to keep our security quite tight, but at the same token, give compatibility to this. But it's doable. All you'd need to do is just some kind of place to store your credentials, like your account ID and password, so that you can pass it to us. We'll probably have to do some kind of hash on that, to be fair. But basically, first step first. We can definitely.
Let's get the products loaded in. Yeah.
That's no problem. Yeah, I mean that's a lunchtime thing. That's no problem.
It's all just lonely down here at the bottom.
Okay, pass me the sample JSON that you're getting from them, and I'll just replicate it. That's going to be the easiest way.
I can actually, I think I'll have to give you the link to it. It's, gosh, what is it? It's capesoft.com/API/get versions. Let me see what it is. And they've got all the inner. Then it'll just dump it onto your webpage. You just see it.
capesoft.com/API.
Yeah, I can tell you what it is in a second.
All right, yep, got it. And it's return you an XML.
Is that it? Did I tell you the right thing?
Get versions?
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, looks like it.
Okay.
Surprised you could turn it in XML though.
I can't believe I remembered that. It should come back in, if you just go /API, just go /API and don't put anything after it. Then you'll come up with the screen and it will show you the get versions. If you click on that, then it will show you all the different methods it'll return. It'll return JSON. And then there's a JSON thing down there under the examples and stuff. Are you with me, or do you want me to show you?
Yeah,
you with me? Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, we're looking at your screen. Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah.
No, I'm not showing it on mine. I'm just talking.
I'm just doing. Yeah, but I'm on there. And REST get version accepts. Yep. Okie dokie.
Yeah, it's all right there. So
fine. Yeah. I'll just I'll bookmark that. And
we can work it out. I mean, it's not like this is coming out tomorrow, but it'd be nice to get that put in there, and then eventually get the download and everything automated for people.
We can do the installers. That's no problem. And just change the installers to accept a username, a serial number, and so on, so it can still emulate what the user is typing in, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's probably one thing. You run a Capesoft installer or one of our installers, and you would get that our example, the web browser example's just kicked into life. Don't know why that is. Basically you run the installers and it asks you for usually the name, the company name, and the serial, or something like that.
Right.
As do, you probably want those to be able to be stored. So if you did have your information, like your login credentials for this, you probably want that kind of information to be stored in the setup of your application as well, so that you can just take it and you click install, download and install, and it's going to fill in those details for you automatically.
That would be cool. As far as we can get with automating it, that would be great. I think people would like it.
Yep, no problem. Okay, yes, okay. No problem.
Anyway, so you can take it back.
Okay, so let's bring this back.
Another question.
And we've got Alan who's just want to back. I think that's the report control. So let me just bring it back to myself.
Yeah.
Okay, and Alan. Hi,
Hello,
Alan.
Andy.
Hi.
Hey, I sent you an example, but I can show it to you on my screen what I'm talking about if you want.
Yeah, let's, and then the others can see, and at the same time. So let's make presenter. So it should have sent a.
Okay, I got it. All right, hopefully I'm on the right screen. Can you see my?
I can. Yep.
Okay, this is a mock-up of my app, and I've got multiple docking panes, and they all have Clarion procedures in them.
Right.
The main question is I can't get the splitters to work here, but also randomly when it starts up, different procedures just don't show in the pane. I think if I expand this now, it'll show. I'm wondering if there's some sort of refresh or something I can do on that. But the main question is, for example, it looks like the splitter wants to work, but when I try to drag it, it just doesn't work.
So for that, I know I think we mentioned this in the past. You've got no min and max set for that, have you?
I don't believe so. No.
Okay. Do any of the splitters work?
No, none of them.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, hey, I just lied. Those do work.
Okay.
But these two, left, right. Okay, now there's a hidden pane in the center section. I'm wondering if maybe that has something to do with it.
Okay. Does the height of the middle pane, does that change? The splitter in the middle?
No.
No. Can we have a look at the pane definitions?
Sure. Okay, this is the left-hand pane. This is hidden in the center. You want me to look at each of them? Okay. What do you want to see?
Yes, let's have a look at.
Okay. I'm happy to give you control.
Okay, yeah, please.
All right, how do I do that?
Oh, now let me just see if I can request it. Request keyboard and mouse. So it's probably asking you to confirm.
Okay, I give control. All right, hang on. You should have it.
Okay. Oh yeah, so yeah, looks perfectly fine. This is the. Just let me refresh what we've got. So we've got 1. Okay, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 3 down the right. Is that correct?
And it's probably just a typo.
Okay.
Or I'm doing the procedure twice.
Yeah, you see. $600, 150. Okay. Bottom of dummy hidden. Five. So what's the dummy hidden then? Just curiosity. Just going to put that on right of dummy 1. So it will be. Didn't check that actually. Was it started hidden? I take it.
No.
No.
If it started hidden, then everything gets all screwed up. As a matter of fact, I'm starting them all opened up, and then on a timer, I'm closing them. So.
The pane up there.
If you maximize the content, will probably show in that bottom. I'm thinking it might be because there's more than one pane there in the center.
Oh, no, sorry, not that. Oh. Okay.
All right, let me.
I thought I was going to get that to just kill it.
That should work, yeah.
What I wanted to check is that resizable? Also, I'm guessing. Oh. Yeah.
By the way, Mike Hansen resizers on those. Oh, no, they're not on this one. Never mind, I'm sorry. I am using his deal and it's working well on mine.
Oh, that's good to know. I know in that particular app I'm working on, we had a problem with the resizing of the contents, but it was bringing the titles back in, so I better just check my settings. What the? Could you send me this setup? I'll do some testing.
I emailed it to you last week.
Oh, you did? Sorry, so yes, I do. Yeah.
So you do have it. It's in the example app. I just added down an example procedure.
Just gonna go now. Where are we? You did, Alan. Sorry. As I say, last week was one of those weeks.
No. I suggested maybe we could go for.
Oh, actually, I've got a. You sent me a PNG.
A screenshot and the app should both be attached to the email.
No, I'm going to bring it here. It's just Alan PNG.
Good grief! All right, well I will send the app to you right this moment.
So, but yeah, I've got to, and then I can have a play, put some debug behind the scenes and see what's going on with it.
All right, it'll be to you in a minute.
Okay.
All right. The other question, as far as the procedure not displaying, have you seen that before? I mean, any idea why that would be? For example, if I close it and restart it, maybe not. Okay, see, it flashes and then
I saw something flash there, and that's No, but in fairness, I don't really. Usually set my apps up like that because I have them more emulating. They are MDI, but they're emulating SDI, if you will. So they only open when required. But that's no problem. Let me put the debug. Send the app through. I'm doing a couple of changes actually on the docking pane because, and I always. The latest version now. I've got a dev version which is slightly different from yours, but the latest version I've got, I can get quite a few GPFs out of it, and I've got Wengel doing tests for particular patterns, and I think she's come up with 2 patterns where I can get it to get its GPF. So now mine is a dev version. Don't be too worried. It's slightly different from yours, but basically, I've got a load of debug in the actual class as it is. So let me try it on yours, see it not opening, and I'll tell you exactly what's going on.
Okay, and honestly, I'm having lots of GPFs in my other app that I haven't even started trying to track down. So maybe your work will help.
Just hang fire on that because interesting. Now, are yours during the opening or the closing?
It'll happen either way. No, it's just while I'm using it.
Oh.
But it happens to be opening and closing or hiding and unhiding different panes. It'll do it.
Right. Do you see mine's closing? I'm suspecting it's linked to basically one of the classes being nullified before I can get to it. That kind of thing. So, which is easy for me to trap and so on and so forth. While I'm running, I wouldn't really expect, because what I've got to, it's a bug. I've got to do a workaround for them. But what we've got to watch is the GPF being caused by the class, e.g. trying to access a class. It keeps links between the docking pane class and the manager class and so on. Is it trying to access a method of a child class when it's been cleared and killed and so on? So it's a null, and that would cause the GPF. Or is it inside of the actual control itself, which you can do. Me trying the things with the ActiveX earlier with the command bars, I was trying to play with the close pop-ups. I was purposely trying different methods, so I was having a pop-up appear, and then externally via an event, closing and basically, sorry, not closing, hiding and disabling the control itself. Then that would cause the GPF when you went back to the control. So you can, some things we're doing can actually cause the control itself to GPF. So they're harder to track, but if you've got something where it's happening quite frequent, maybe I pass you the debug version. You can use the ultimate debugger to help out on that, if you will. It's in everyone's interest then, really.
Be happy to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, this I actually have, I think, 4 panes in this center section, this workspace.
Yeah.
And I only want to have one visible at a time, so they're picking what's in the workspace, and I have to start them up visible, and then, like I said, I have to do a timer to shut each one down slowly.
No. Why don't you have them on their separate panes, have them all attached to each other, and then and use the lazy open, and basically whatever you're clicking, then you can use the select pane to bring them into focus. That's exactly what I do on my application.
Put them all in the same pane? Is that what you said?
Attached. So just bring back to just come back to an email's just come through from you. Thank you. I'll just come back to me as a presenter.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
It's okay. I've taken it.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me just open up the navigation. That'll do. While that's opening the application, here we go. Okay, so basically, got a pane on the left, hosting a task panel. Got numerous panes on the right, and they are all attached to each other. So I've got a pane called Dashboard, which is this one here. I've got a pane called Patient List or Client List. When you click on here, it brings that pane into view. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just wondering where my data is. I've just moved my SQL engine from one machine to another. I'm kind of wishing I hadn't, I'll be honest. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Right. I need to fine-tune that over the other engine. Okay. This will do the same. So this will call the staff list, and that pane is now open. But these are attached to each other, and all I'm really doing here is switching the pane. So you can get the effect of what you're after. And how that is done is just waiting for this. Right. So I've got my pane, navigation on the left, as I mentioned. Okay, so that's just nice and easy. And then on the right, I have a dashboard, 850 by 1000 to the right of the nav, and I've put it as part of a collection. Now that collection can be any word you want it to be. I've put it as part of a collection called work, because that's my work area. We'll stick with the ones we saw, the staff list. So that is it pane on its own, 850 by 1000 to the right, but it's not neighboured to anything, it's actually attached to the dashboard pane.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, it's still part of the same work group. I start it hidden because I have my dashboard, so when I first go into the application, I want to see the dashboard open, that's fine. And a little tip here, if you're going to use this function, collection, then you can use the lazy open. Basically, don't open the child contents until you actually bring it into focus, which the template will do for you. Don't worry about that. So if we have a look, our staff list is said, okay, we want it hidden by default. Part of that same collection, we do want to use a lazy open, and we're attaching it to the dashboard. And every one of these panes is done the same. So, say for example, titles. You can maintain titles. Part of the work collection, hidden, lazy open, attached to dashboard.
Huh.
So and that gives the effect. We go in here now. We've got our navigation open, and we'll have our dashboard open. The dashboard's open. When I click here, the client list is opened, and because it's part of the collection, the dashboard is automatically hidden. The client is brought into focus. Staff, same again. Now the client has been hidden and the staff has been displayed, but they're all attached to each other, giving that same effect. But they only open, because you can imagine all these options. No point in opening them if I'm never going to go and navigate to them. I only open them when I need. So you get a slight delay the first time, but then the next time you go back to them, they're exactly where you left them. So if I've got Andy highlighted, and then Theodore highlighted, go back, Andy's still there, Theodore's there.
That's fantastic. Exactly what I was looking for. There was an option
There's
there.
the PDF I'm looking at. But that, the only other one you would want, so every one of these are done exactly the same. So part of a collection, any word you want, but all matching, so they're all the same collection. Have the subsequent ones opened, hidden, with the lazy open, and attached to your master, whatever your landing pane is. And then to bring them into play, I'm using on my docking pane.
Before you leave there, you didn't mention auto hide. I noticed you've got it checked. Should the auto hide panes in the collection also be checked?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's the auto hide.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that's the.
Okay.
Yeah. That the auto hide goes with that, and the lazy open. Basically, it's going to define the pane, but it's not going to give it any handle until it needs to.
Got it.
And I use the so the other thing you would want, it's up to yourself, because I don't want to have the tabs of all the different panes that they've got open. I go to the appearance tabs and I turn that off, show tabs. But if you wanted to have that turned on, then for every pane you've opened, you could have the tabs open at the bottom. Personally, it's not a good look. I wouldn't, but it's your app, it's up to you. It's just I don't. I want the power of the MDI, but I want to give the effect of the SGI.
Right. Same here.
So, and then the other thing you would want to do, I'm using a task panel to select the items. So say for clients, I have the client list, that's the option you see on the left. And the action there is to select a docking pane called client.list, which is the name of the pane. All that is actually doing, I'll show you the code. And this is because you might have a different mechanism to select that. All you would want to do, forget that. There. You would want to do the docking pane class dot select pane, the name of the pane that you want, so your dummy 1, dummy 2, that kind of so on, and a true for yes, force it to come into interview.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I think that was. I don't see any other questions, which is good. I think that was a pretty successful webinar. Yeah, it's very good. Don't like the particular things we found on the report control earlier, but they're easy fixes, so I don't particularly mind them. Not like the docking pane one, not like the command bar close pop-ups, which is. It's had far too much time. So hopefully by next week you should expect at least a command bar and a report control update out, possibly the docking pane too. Okay. Oh, and on that note, we should wrap it up. So thank you everybody, and until next week, I'll see you then.
Thank you so much, Andy.
No problem. Bye, everyone.
Bye.